Welcome to the brand new Creative Storm channel. a-ha's three group members are originally from Norway. They moved to London in 1983 to chase their dreams of making it in the music biz. Despite initial difficulties, they didn't give up, and their perseverance paid off, as they were discovered and signed to a record deal by Warner Brothers. The original music video for Take On Me was released in 1984. There was just one problem. The video was a total flop. This original video was a far cry from the creative gem we all know. In a recent interview, one of the band members said it was a substandard recording with the worst video imaginable. Ouch. At this point, the band felt like a failure, and they were sure they were going to be dropped by the label. It was at this critical moment that Jeff Aroff, then creative director for Warner Brothers, was brought into the picture. An industry friend introduced Aroff to an experimental student film called Commuter. It was created by Michael Patterson in 1981 while attending Cal Arts University. Here, he studied with Jules Engel, who famously did animations for Disney's Fantasia. Aroff and the band were blown away by Patterson's video. His sketches were brought to life with a technique called rotoscoping, in which the live-action footage is traced by hand, frame by frame. Patterson went beyond just tracing the live video frames. He added his own artistic touch to each sketch. His smooth, flowing lines create a sense of lightness, freedom, and spontaneity. His pencil lines and shaded areas move around playfully in a dazzling display, which creates a sense of rhythm and brings the drawings to life. Aroff asked Patterson to create a trial sketch from a photo of a-ha's lead singer. Patterson did an amazing job bringing his model's personality to life. The exquisite detail in his eyes draws the viewer in and creates the feeling of connection. This will play a key role in the final music video. Aroff was impressed and excited and hired Patterson on the spot. Irish-born director Steve Barron was hired. He worked on Michael Jackson's groundbreaking Billie Jean video. Based on this track record, Barron was given the creative freedom to make something unique and spectacular. As a child, Barron loved comic books. This led him to the idea of using a speed racing comic book as a backdrop for a love story that takes place across dimensions. Now he was wrestling with how to combine the real world with the comic book world. Looking for inspiration, he played the track over and over on his way to a hotel in New York. This was when the vision of the drawn hand jumping out of the pages of the comic book hit him like a bolt of lightning. He recognized right away that the key was to weave a story around this initial idea. The live-action sequences had to be shot first, so that the animations could be traced over them afterwards. Shooting was done in a London cafe and in a soundstage. To represent the comic book world, the soundstage was wallpaper with Patterson's beautiful sketches. Because the animations were being created later on, the director had to visualize them in his head as he shot. The chemistry between a-ha's lead singer and the actress on the video helped bring the story together. They bonded so well that they would actually become a couple after the video. Initially, label executives thought the animation would take a couple of weeks. Patterson had to explain to them that doing animations by hand was a long and tedious process. Patterson partnered with his wife, Candice Reckinger. For 16 weeks, all they did was work on their video and sleep. In the end, around 3,000 frames were drawn. Reckinger would later say that her husband thought he would never be able to move his drawing hand again. The animation blended seamlessly with a clear narrative of the story. A young woman stuck in what seems like a humdrum existence, she's pulled into a fantastical comic book world by our hero in this pivotal moment as originally visualized by the director. The lively spirit of the song is visualized as the lines and shading of the drawing pulsate and dance to the rhythm of the music. This leads us to what I think is the coolest scene in the video. The camera rotates around the scene to give us a sense of three-dimensionality, which makes us feel like we are inside this fantastical world with them. The sudden attack by his racing rivals shatters not only this magic window, but also our perception that this is a perfect world. Our hero is able to save her, but not himself, as she struts back into her reality. She rushes to find out the fate of her love. At this point, we're resigned to an unhappy ending, until we see he's revived and we see his struggle to escape from the comic book. He's able to jump into her world, but still has to fight off the remnants of the comic book world which still envelop him. This scene was famously inspired by the 1980s movie Altered States. In the end, she becomes the hero of the story as she makes it possible for him to escape the pages of the comic book which were his prison. In a recent interview, the animator said that at the time it felt like they had created a modern fairy tale, which was one of the reasons viewers emotionally connected with the video. The new video was released in May 1985. Heavy TV rotation for the video led to increased radio presence for the soundtrack. It continued to climb the charts until it hit #1 in 27 countries. The video went on to win 6 MTV Video Music Awards.
And the winner is...
Aha, take on me.
Aha, take on me. Aha.
Its creative use of animation has been used in video games, commercials, and television shows. The song was recently covered by Weezer, who also used the iconic animation technique for their music video. To this day, it's considered one of the most iconic music videos of all time. And it continues to enjoy success over 3 decades later, having surpassed 1 billion views on YouTube. I'm sure quite a few of those are mine. It was way ahead of its time, and it created a defining moment in pop music history that still resonates to this day.